And joining us this afternoon, he's a former Henderson Lion, former Major League Baseball player. He's currently the new head baseball coach for the Grapeland Sandies. Tyrell Jenkins, what's up, Tyrell? How are you?
What's up, brother, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing fantastic. I know you were just down there with the boys. First off, congratulations on the new gig over at
Thank
Grapeland.
you.
And
Appreciate it.
what's the feeling right now? I know we're off season, baseball season just
Yep.
kind of ended, but what are we kind of doing right now, getting ready for everything?
Get ready for football, man. Get ready for 2 days. Adjusting to that heat. I don't think you ever really can adjust. Um, I'm excited, man. I get to work with my quarterbacks and get to meet the kids. And, man, I'm excited for August 2nd to get here.
So we obviously you're the head baseball coach. You're going to be coaching football too. So what other
Yeah.
sports are you going to be coaching? What are you going to be doing in those sports?
Yeah. Football, I have quarterbacks. So I'll be working with the Qs and seeing if we can put some numbers up and hear that fight song a couple times.
Well, and we're going to get into your Henderson time in a little bit, and you were pretty good Q yourself back there for the Henderson Lions. And Hannah, you may not know this, but Lindell Henderson, me and Tyrell played each other in high school, so we played on the same field a couple of times. But let's get back to Grapeland. I know. Coach Wood over there is a phenomenal coach, phenomenal guy. So, talk to me about how you ended up at Grapeland and what that conversation was like.
Man, it was pretty it's pretty simple. He gave me a phone call and told me that they were looking for a baseball guy and they really wanted somebody that was going to come in and help build a program and help build relationships with not just the team but the community. I think we kind of had the same vision once we talked, and man, I think we got that deal done in about 3 days. And it was I met with him on Wednesday, and by that Friday or Monday, I think it was signed, still delivered. So man, it was pretty easy being around Coach Wood and just getting his vibe and knowing what he does for those kids. And I'm excited.
Well, I know the last time that you were coaching in high school was at Westwood a couple of years ago, and so now that you've had kind of a year, I know you weren't away from the game because I know you were calling games and stuff like that. But now
Yep.
that you've had kind of a year away from coaching high school sports, how much have you learned from that last stop over at Westwood to where you're at now?
Just a lot. I enjoyed my year off. Got to play a lot of golf. Got to do a lot with NetSN Live and broadcast some games, and still pour into kids and try to help them, reach that next level. But really, man, it's just I really miss the Friday Night Lights. I miss being around the kids every day, pouring into them, and so I kind of got that itch again and started looking around. And man, I found a great fit in Grapeland. I'm excited.
Tell me a little bit about the Grapeland community. I don't know if you've gone moved down there yet or not, but tell me a little bit about the community from what you've heard from Coach Wood, because I know he's been there for a little bit now.
Right.
What was it about the community and the administration themselves that kind of made it feel like a perfect fit for you?
Man, I am all about small town schools. The passion, the joy, the energy they bring, man, is truly unmatched. And so, being able to have the opportunity to coach at a smaller school, kind of like Grapeland, I learned some great facts about the watermelon company down there, and how a lot of the kids work, for that company and things like that. Man, it was really a good fit. I know I had a great run last year, and Coach Quick did a good job with those guys last couple of years. So, really coming in and getting an opportunity, I think it was a no-brainer. And I'm just going to try to stay out the way and let those kids go out there and be great.
Well, and that was going to be kind of my question too. Was what was your philosophy going to be coming in here? Because you mentioned it, Grapeland made it to the second round last year. Really battled a good Gary team. Took them to
Yep.
3 games in that. So you have, do you have the talent? That did you graduate a lot there, or what do you have coming back this season, and kind of what are your expectations for this year?
We graduated too last year. Everyone's coming back. Really for me is try to teach them the right way to play the game, but just stay out the way. Let them make mistakes, pick them up, love on them. Teach them and guide them. But sometimes we can make things too complicated, and that's not what I want to do coming in. I know the talent's there, the support. These kids are hungry and they want to get to that next level. So I just want to come in and try not to mess it up and let them go out there and be kids and have fun and compete.
You mentioned that you've been calling games for this past year and kind of poured into the kids that way, but coaching wise, like I know when you're sitting there as a commentator, I know you're sitting there going through scenarios in your head, like what you
Yeah,
would do in that situation, right?
right,
So
right.
what have you learned from this past year calling games that you think will help you coaching now?
Well, I've learned a lot more names. I'll tell you that. You don't really call jersey numbers no more. But at the same time, man, watching a lot of the teams in playoffs of any sport, um, they've done in the third round, fourth round what they've done in day one, day two of their preparation. And it's really just seeing how consistent you can do the really easy and simple things well. And so, really watching just baseball and basketball and football, watching those coaches prepare those playoff teams and make those runs, it's kind of gave me a little bit of a blueprint on kind of how to do it. And that's like I said earlier, not overcomplicate things. And that's my plan going in for both football and baseball. Just kind of guide them and let them go out there. And if they fail, pick them up and dust them off and put them back out there again.
Get them back out there again. Hey,
Yeah.
2A Region 3 is in every sport is one of the toughest regions to get out of. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball, doesn't matter. So when you look at this region as a whole, what do you think makes this region such a tough region? Like there's good baseball teams and basketball teams,
Yeah.
football teams. What makes this region so great? Do you think?
East Texas. I tell people all the time. East Texas sports is different, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball. It doesn't matter. The passion, the energy, these kids are now playing for in front of their uncles and their parents who have done it before them, and so they're out there every day in the backyard playing wiffle ball or out in the street playing basketball, preparing for that opportunity when they get to high school to make those runs and be a name that forever remember in your community. So, man, it's just different down here, and that's why with our early on baseball schedule, man, we're gonna be ballot tested, and I hope we go in a district with one win personally, because that means we're gonna be ready to go. So, I'm gonna put these guys, I'm put them through the ring early on, and hopefully we can get through district and make a run and see what happens.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens down there, and I will definitely be keeping up with the Sandys. But I want to talk a little bit about you now. So, for some people that may not know who you are or know your journey, how you got here, went to Henderson, graduated 2010, multi-sport athlete. I believe you were committed to Baylor to play both football and baseball. Forewent that and decided to go to the MLB draft. Got picked up by the Cardinals. So, tell me that experience. What made you decide to kind of forego Baylor and decide to go ahead and start your professional career? What was that decision like for you?
Well, that was Coach Art Briles' decision. I actually chose football at the time. I wanted to go play quarterback. I wanted to go play at Baylor. And once he found out what the offer was with the Cardinals, he told me, as much as I love you, kid, you got to take care of your family. And so he really pushed for me and kind of almost wouldn't let me at that point come play quarterback there. But he was the one that kind of told me to go, take this opportunity, and I did that, and I'm glad I did. And I met some good people, in my years of playing ball, and some guys that you'll notice in the grocery store, some guys you won't notice if you look to your left or your right. But I got to learn the game a lot, and I get to come back to East Texas and really just Texas in general, and help pour into kids and try to guide them and help them reach their goals.
That's funny about you say that about Art Browse. Yeah, I'm sure he was like, "What are you doing coming here? Like, go get your money up there." Now, in
Yeah,
today's college football, though, that it might be a little
it's a
different.
whole new game, a
Yeah,
whole
it's
different
a
ball game.
little. Now, I do want to ask you though, do you not regret's the wrong word, but do you ever look back and say like wish you would have went to college and got that experience?
100%. 100%. I don't regret it, but I wish there was a way I could have went and played a college football game, because there's nothing like it. The energy and the build up and the excitement of a playoff football game in college or high school is different than a playoff baseball game. That's just how it is. And I wish I got to experience that, but definitely don't regret being able to go and play at the on the big stage and face some of the best hitters in the world.
Yeah, and you made it to the big stage, and so in 2014 you got traded a couple of times, and I want to ask you about that, how that
Yeah,
feeling is being traded. You were
yeah.
traded from the Cardinals to the Braves in 2014, and then traded from the Braves to the Rangers in 2016. But what is that like when you're a trade piece? Do you get known ahead of time? Do they give you a heads up, or is it just kind
Right.
of a thing? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I was in the loop with the whole Rangers trade. I knew it was going to be like a 48-hour deal. And I told my mom at the time, and I told my Hughes Ellis was working at the paper in Henderson. I was like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And before we could blink, then it hit Facebook, and I was like, no. And then when it happened again, I didn't want to go in there and explain again, like what had happened. So it kind of all happened pretty fast. It's one of those things where if you're a trade piece, it can be a good thing to you, or some people can feel upset about it. I was just at the point where I was grateful for the opportunity to be, in the mix with guys that needed me or wanted a certain piece. And, I'm from Henderson, Texas, coming across tickers on ESPN. And, so it never bothered me, man. I was just grateful to be able to experience the big league life and being around the city of Atlanta and St. Louis. And I definitely miss those cities, but I'm happy where I'm at.
That this your pro debut, you made it in June of 2016 in Miami. Pitched an inning, only allowed one hit. What was that moment like? I know you talked about it. You being from Henderson, making it to the big stage. Now
Yeah.
you're on there in the major leagues, pitching against other major league hitters. What was that moment like for you making that debut?
It was pretty surreal. Keep in mind, I had got called up 7 days ago, and so I didn't pitch for 7 days until they had found an opportunity to get me in there. So, and then you faced their 2, 3, 4. I think it was Yelich, Ozuna, Saltamaki. So it's like, all right, here we go. But man, it's kind of like you go out there and just compete. And if it goes well, it goes well. If it goes bad, you're at the big league level. And so, I was lucky to get out of there unscathed. I remember running out to the mound from the bullpen, and I was like floating, like here I am, and so man, that was one of the cooler moments. And I remember I didn't smile until I got like down from the tunnel, and I was like, all right, I did it. And they was like, you ain't got to look tough, but I was like, man, I'm trying to breathe. it was, but man, it was a great experience, man. Being in Miami and being able to experience it there, and so I was grateful for it.
I, what is that's funny. You're trying to keep that poker face on while you're out on the field. Then when you get to the
Yeah.
tunnel, you act like a little kid and get
Oh
over there.
yeah, man, I was cheesing.
That's great, man. So last thing I want to ask you, I'll let you get out of here. You've been to the highest level, right? Major leagues, and you've grinded in high school and gone through those moments to get to where you are. When you're coaching these kids and when you're at Grapeland, what is the message that you want to deliver to the kids? What's something that, hey, when these kids graduate in 3 or 4 years, they want to
Right.
say, I remember Coach Jenkins did this for me
Right.
or told me this. What's kind of the imprint that you want to leave on these kids here?
Man, when it comes to sports in general, especially baseball, it's learn how to deal with adversity and not just in the game, off the field, on the field. I tell the kids all the time, us complaining about something won't change the fact that it happened or it was called. We got to learn how to fight through it. If the umpires want to go out there and they want to cheat you, they can do it. And you can't stop it. But that's also life. It's not fair, but it's worth it. So how do you deal with diversity? Because it's going to happen. And we try to build that into practice. We try to build that into everyday routines. But man, just handling adversity, because once you walk across that stage and life hits, man, it's a whole different world. And so I want to be a pillar for these guys and try to help mold them and grow them into young men and future husbands and fathers, and but also I try to keep it fun. So man, I really try to stay on the adversity side of it, because man, once life hits, it doesn't stop.
I wish I would have realized that more when I was in school. Like in high school, you kind of are in a bubble, right? Like you're kind of it
Right.
is real life, but it's not as dramatic as we make it out to be when it's in high school. And then when you
Right.
hit the real
Right.
world, you're like, oh, oh, so this is
And,
real
and then you
adversity.
miss it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Well, Tyrell, man, I
absolutely.
appreciate you taking the time and talking to us today. Best of luck to you and the Sandys this year, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you. That